Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
It's a very complicated question.
No, actually, it's really not. It's kind of an either-or deal. Do you want to get married?
Someday, yes, very much. When we're ready. I don't want you to take this as a bad thing. It's good. I love you. I love you so much. I'm just trying to be honest with you.
Yes, honesty now. Congratulations, Xander, on being honest now. I wonder what the medal will say.
Okay, clearly I'm not handling this well.
Well, duh!
All I want is for us to be together. I love you. I wish we could just go back to the way things were before.
And I wish you were never born.
Howdy, how's it going, Buffy lovers? Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And today we're talking about Season 6, Episode 18, titled Entropy, directed by James A. Contner, written by Drew Z. Greenberg. Original air date April 30th, 2002, to an audience of 4.53 million people. And before we get into the episode, everybody, we gotta do some sloppy Joe shout outs. Shout outs. We actually have some shout outs today. We got a Spotify shout out for our Discord user with the lead pipe. Thank you so much for your Spotify rating. Really appreciate it. And if you recall last episode, I said if you live in Wyoming and you're listening to this, reach out to us. So Katie Coble, thank you for being our Wyoming listener. We may have more, but she's the only one who reached out.
And we appreciate it.
We appreciate it so much. If you want to get a shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review, Spotify 5-star rating, send it to us. Or if you listen to this podcast and you live in Alaska, reach out. We'll shout out you on the next episode.
Alaska.
Alaska. Someone's just like putting their VPN in Alaska.
Yeah.
It's someone that just like wants to get another shout out.
Yeah. Or you just say you're from Alaska. We're not verifying anything.
Yeah, we cannot. We cannot verify.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's how you get your shout outs. Join our Discord. We got a lot of chatter. Patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we do Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, and Joe's Fashion Report /corner. Yeah. I feel like you were right in your prediction, Vance, that there was going to be no follow-up on that hallucination thing.
Yes. My reasoning was going to be because there's no way to follow it up. It's just a troll job. And that seems to be the Discord discourse has been that.
Yeah. But it was just to fuck with our audience. And like, don't fuck with the audience.
That was my thing. I knew they weren't going to do It's All Just a Dream, because I'm telling you, I would have heard about it. It's such a bad way to end a show. But I got to say, on Discord, Queen C, listener Queen C, had a really good point about how Buffy getting a chance to say goodbye to Joyce in the mental institution was a nice way for her to like say goodbye, what she wasn't able to do in the body. And
get
then
that closure.
Yeah, and then she was actually able to choose that she wanted to come back to Sunnydale, which she didn't get a chance to do when she died. And her friends ripped her from heaven and brought her back, and she's been trying to like leave the whole time, but this time she actively has to choose to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So from a character standpoint, that all tracks. I really like that.
She had an option to leave it all behind. And be with her mom and dad.
Yeah. So yeah, Queen C, good breakdown, good thought process on that. You know, so I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
The last shot, they kind of like makes it like, is it real? Is it not?
Yeah.
And then we heard stories about how he tried to like throw a little throwaway joke into some. Wheaton tried to throw a little throwaway joke in some other project he was doing. Where
about Scott Summers.
Yeah. An X-Men comic or something about like, oh, my friend that's in a mental
cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't think we need it. I don't think we need the is Sunnydale real or is it not? Just like let it be what it is.
That's why I was so upset about that last scene. I mean, I will argue that all day, every day about how like there's Buffy's not even active. It just bothered me.
Well, it was a troll job. It wanted the audience
and
to be like,
it worked.
And it worked. Yeah. I just don't think they needed to do that. That's all. I think if you cut that last shot out, the episode still works.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, Entropy, Vance. What did you think about Entropy?
We're getting close to the end of the season, so things are happening. I liked some stuff that happens in this one. And another one of those be careful what you wish for things. Because I was like, I was like, we're not seeing enough Anya and Spike. And I was like, it'd be nice if we got a chance to see Anya and Spike together hanging out. I like their relationship.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, do we get it.
Oh boy, do we. And once again, I'm probably going to be a not popular podcast host on this because I will probably be defending Xander Harris in this episode.
I will not be defending Xander Harris at a certain point, but only because I think the writers decided to make him just like not irrational, but they've been forcing this thing on him this whole time that no one else seems to have a problem with.
Yes.
Which I don't get.
I'll probably agree with you on that point. If I'm reading your mind correctly. All right, so let's get into the episode.
If vampires are a race, then Xander's a racist.
Go back where you came from.
Get back in the crypt.
Sorry to our southern listeners.
Yeah, that
stereotypical racist. Hey, racists are everywhere.
Yeah, most racists are, wearing suits and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're in office.
Mm-hmm.
Presidents of the United States. Thanks, Obama.
How dare you say that about Biden?
Oh, man. All right. So we got a whole lot of recap. We're in the recap era, everybody. We got Buffy telling Spike that she's using him, breaking up with Spike. Xander leaving the wedding. Willow and Tara trying to get back together, but Willow sees Tara kissing some other girl. Xander missing Anya. Dawn being a thief. Buffy beating up Xander last episode with the frying pan and tying up the Scoobies because she thought that she was hallucinating everything, and then Buffy apologizing for all of her actions. So the episode opens up with two vampires being chased by the trio on ATVs that have stakes on the front of the ATVs. And I was like, that's awesome. How the fuck did they afford these ATVs?
Wait, that's what you wanted? They stole a giant diamond. They're like...
They were using the diamond for freeze rays.
Yeah, I mean, but they robbed that bank before.
Did they actually? Oh, yeah, they were sitting on that big pile of money, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like...
These guys, money is not an issue for these guys.
It's just like all of their contraptions would cost so much money to make, that I was like...
Money's not an issue.
There's so many
for these
ways.
Guys. He's making robot people.
Yeah. But he doesn't sell them. That's been our whole point this whole time.
Yeah, but you never question where he gets the parts.
Yeah.
Or financing. I don't understand how Buffy can't hear these ATVs, these four-wheelers, because they're loud.
Yeah, they're loud, and then one vampire throws a tree branch at them, and then they all like crash into each other and stuff.
I'm more impressed that they can even drive these things. That's actually
right. I mean, I guess
it's not that hard.
They've got to be in their 20s.
It's not that hard to drive one of those, but they are the nerd crew. So
yeah. Did you notice too that there was like a duplicate scene of the vampires running? It's like they show the vampires running. Then it shows the ATVs, and it shows the exact same scene of the vampires running.
You know, I barely pay attention to these opening scenes.
Fair. But the trio is chasing these vampires because the vampires have a disc that they need. And then they're like, oh, we got to catch up to them. We can't let them go. And then as they're explaining this to each other and the audience, Buffy shows up. And she starts beating up the vampires, and they're all like, oh, shit, the Slayer's here. Everybody fall back. But then Warren's like, no. Wait a second. Because Buffy is fighting the vampires on the other side of this fence, and she cannot see the trio for some reason. She's got her, mind occupied with fighting vampires. And she's fighting these vampires, and Spike shows up, and he's watching Buffy fight the vampires, and he grabs a vampire and he's just like dangling it from on top of this fence thing.
That vampire that he's dangling has no agency.
No. As soon as he gets grabbed, he's just like shuts down.
Yeah. It's like a cat when you grab him by the scruff. Just like.
Yeah. He's just dangling. He doesn't try to like shift or anything, try to make it difficult. He just gives up.
Yeah.
So while Spike is holding this vampire up, Warren decides this is the opportune time to sneak in, get the disc that the vampires dropped. And he does that successfully. The trio runs away. Buffy and Spike is still holding this vampire. Buffy's fighting the other vampire, and she's having a very difficult time. Did she lose her Slayer powers or something?
It's so plot dependent when she has struggles with vampires.
It's crazy. Like, this vampire is about to kill her. Like,
you watch her walk in and kill like 10 at a time, and then she's one-on-one with one, and it's just like, I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
And then somehow Spike can beat up every vampire too.
But then Spike also gets beat up by Xander.
Well, I mean, the chip.
Oh, right, the chip. Forgot about the chip. So anyway, Spike is like kind of chiding Buffy as she's getting beat up by this vampire. He's like, hey, I could stake this vampire for you if you want. And Buffy's like, if you want to do it, I don't really give a shit one way or another. And Spike's like, all right, I'll do it. But you got to do one thing for me. And Buffy's like, I'm not going to tell my friends about us. And Spike is like, come on, why not? Why won't you tell your friends about us banging?
It is weird that became a plot point that he wants her to tell them.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
They're broken up now.
Yeah. I mean, Spike is in denial about it.
Yeah, he thinks if she tells them, then everything is go back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah, Buffy's stakes the vampire, and she's like, Spike, I'm not going to tell him. And you know what? Even if I did tell him, if you really want to tell him, you tell him. Because guess what? I fucking tied him up and locked him in my basement and tried to kill them last week, and they all forgave me. So I don't think anything you say could make them not love me. I'm Teflon Buffy. Everything rolls off me. And then she starts walking away, and Spike lets go of the vampire that he was holding for Buffy because he's all hurt. Mm-hmm. And then she stakes that vampire, and Spike says to Buffy, well, if that's the case, if your friends will forgive you for whatever you do, you should probably sleep with me again. And Buffy, after she stakes the vampire, she turns around and she ADR says, I'm not going to do that, Spike, because I'm not in love with you.
Yeah.
People. You can have sex with people you're not in love with. Just wanted to throw that out there.
And now is where I will segue into our plug for Angel, because there's a question I have about love and how it works in this Angel episode that we have coming up. Yeah.
That Angel episode. Angel's going off the rails.
Angel's wild.
Angel is going off the fucking rails, dude.
Yeah, this, I did like the vampire when he heard Spike say, "Oh, why don't you sleep with me again?" And the vampire's like, "What?"
Yeah, the vampire even turns around like, you serious? That's how Buffy gets the drop on him to stake him.
I love how some of these vampires, because they're extras and because of like, SAG rules, they don't want to give them lines, because you gotta pay them more and stuff. So they just are like, they're like mute and they don't talk.
Yeah, they like grunt.
They're like, "Oh."
Like Tim Allen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So speaking of people not in love, or are they? They definitely are. Confirmed.
Do they deserve to be?
I don't know. Xander is at his apartment and he's alone, listening to some sad, sad music, drinking a beer. And he's just sitting on the floor contemplating what he's done, where he's at in his life. Why couldn't he have committed to marrying Anya? He's sitting there. He's in his feels.
His place looks so much more like a bachelor pad than it ever has.
Well, can you blame him?
I can blame him for leaving his house at night. I do not get these Scoobies.
I know, dude.
They're just like, I'm just going to go out for a walk.
Yeah. He turns his sad music off and he puts his beer down and grabs his jacket, just starts walking into the streets at night. And once he leaves the apartment, he's walking outside. He passes some shrubbery. And who's watching him from the bushes but Anya? And she looks all sad.
What a creep. What a creep.
I know.
Hiding in a bush is like a Spike.
A lot of bush hiding.
Yeah.
So then we go over to the college campus and Willow is waiting outside of Tara's classroom and Tara comes out and Willow's like, "Oh, hey, Tara, hey, how fancy seeing you here. Oh, isn't this such a coincidence and serendipitous?" And Tara's like, "Oh yeah, sure. Very, yeah, this is totally a coincidence. Anyway, how are you feeling after Buffy beat the shit out of you?" And Willow's like, "Oh no, it's fine. It's nothing. It's Buffy beats people up sometimes.
Yeah,
it ain't no thing.
As long as Sunnydale's
with a
real.
hell god.
As long as Sunnydale's real, it's fine."
And then Tara cracks some kind of like very incredibly tame joke, and Willow over laughs at it because she's trying to get back on Tara's good side. And then Willow talks to Tara about, "Hey, I saw, you saw." Tara says something about like, "Oh yeah, I saw you last week after class, but you ran away before I could catch you." And Willow's like, "Oh, yeah, those were different circumstances. I saw you." And Tara's like, "Relax. She's just a friend that I occasionally fuck out." But no, she assures Willow, "Hey, she's just a friend." And then Willow's like, "Cool. So like, if that's just a friend, would you maybe want to go and get some coffee sometime? Maybe perhaps later this week if you're free. Maybe potentially after class get some coffee. As friends, we're just friends. Don't worry about it. Maybe we could do that." And Tara's like, yeah, maybe. My note here is they have awkward chitter chatter.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, but you can bring your friend if you want." "Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was going to be alone and blah, blah, blah. Friend. "Oh, I have plenty of friends." It's like, "No, you guys don't have friends." I've seen the birthday parties. It's no, you guys don't have friends.
It's your friend is Clem.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. I always notice that Allison Hannigan takes deep breaths at like weird spots in her talking. Like it's like it's kind of like how Christopher Walken takes breaks, like the way Christopher Walken will like stop a sentence.
Oh my God.
But she does it too.
Oh
but she does it too,
That's
and it's like
so
her thing. She's
fucking
like,
true.
Well, I was going to go to the it's like, oh, that's not where you take a normal breath.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just her cadence of speaking. Just Allison Hannigan, because she's done it in everything. But
I was going to ask,
yeah.
does she do it in That's How I Met Your Mother?
She does it in That's How I Met Your Mother and American Pie. Like, that's just the way she talks, basically. But
I feel like it's just the characters that she's pigeonholed herself into, though. Like, I don't know if she actually...
Well, I haven't seen interviews with her. That's what I'll say. I haven't seen interviews with her.
I'd have to see an interview, because I don't know if you have this, but sometimes when people talk like that and they have these awkward cadences, it gives me anxiety and it like gets my heart rate going. When I watch Willow talking like this, like I feel short of breath.
I get a little bit of that. I don't have a lot of it, but yeah.
Dude, the worst that I've ever had that as I was watching a Colin Quinn stand-up special. And he is very, very bad at it. And I was like hyperventilating because I couldn't take listening to how he talks. Like it made me short of breath. And I get a little bit of that with Willow and her.
Yeah. I get more, just have some confidence. Willow used to be a witch.
I know. Good Lord.
But it's fine. She's trying to win back the girl who she mind raped a bunch. So I get it. Run. In my note, I wrote, run, Tara, run.
Yeah, dude. I know we've talked about that in the past, but it's like we cannot have Tara go back to her.
It is interesting. We have two parallel storylines of forgiving of relationship stuff. Mm-hmm. And the one that seems like it's not going to be forgivable is the most forgivable one.
Yes.
Because I think the Tara Willow one is like
that's so much more unforgivable. That's so much more unforgivable. But anyway, speaking of forgiveness, Buffy's walking around a new set. This looks like it's in Boston. There's like a fucking
they're on a new
studio. Oh, that's true. Yeah, there's a place in Boston that I think it's like Faneuil Hall or something that has a bunch of shops that look like this. But
sorry, not new studio, new network.
Yeah, they're walking around and Dawn's basically bragging to Buffy about all the places she's stolen from. Buffy's like, well, what about that one? She's like, oh yeah, I stole a necklace, a toothbrush. And Buffy's like, you stole a fucking toothbrush? You're lame. And they keep walking by the same Old Navy.
You're short.
Yeah. Did you notice that they also walk by the same Old Navy backdrop like 3 times?
Oh, they just keep they cut to a close up and they just start from the beginning again and keep walking. Yeah.
They walk back 15 feet and
it's a daytime Sunnydale scene, so it's always interesting looking.
It's always odd. Yeah. But Buffy's like, Jesus, I can't believe you stole from every store. You're not allowed. But you gave all this stuff back, and some of the stuff that you didn't give back, you paid for. So we're making amends, like the episode that no one likes.
Everyone likes. Everyone's Christmas list.
Yeah. And Buffy's like, well, I guess we can't go into any of these stores except for maybe the pet store. And Dawn goes, I stole a pocket full of goldfish. And Buffy's like, are you fucking serious? And Dawn's like, kidding.
And I'm like, can we move on with this scene?
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because I thought they were going to go into the pet store because at this point, I'm not fully sure what this episode was going to be about. So I was like, yes.
And we have gotten confirmation that dogs exist in this universe.
Yes, we have. we could have got clearer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But Drusilla does try to give Spike a puppy.
Yeah, and now Buffy wants to go to the pet store and look at some puppies, too.
Yes.
So they heard our comments from last week, 20 years later.
The show knows. They're like, let's settle this. Sunnydale is real. Puppies exist in Sunnydale. All right.
So then we go over to the trio, and they have the disc, and they're doing some kind of harebrained experiment, and Jonathan's like, I don't know if this is going to work, or I don't know, maybe this is something. And after this one, we're done. And Warren says like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, it's fine. Like, just make sure that you're doing this correctly. And Jonathan's like, yeah, it's really dangerous. I don't want to end up deader than an ex-girlfriend. And Warren's like, hey, man, that was like 7 episodes ago. Come on.
Hey, man, I don't actually feel anything when you say that. So I don't know why I'm getting all worked up about it.
So Jonathan does his whole, hey, this is the last job. After this job, we're done. We're through. We take our share and we call it a day. And Warren's like, yep, sure. And Andrew is lurking in the background. And Warren walks over to Andrew. And Andrew is like, oh, man, I'm starting to feel bad for Jonathan. He's really like not doing well. And he looks paranoid and I'm worried about him. And Warren's like, don't worry about it. He'll get it. We'll get it together. It'll be fine. And then Andrew, all of a sudden, he's like, I don't know, man. I don't think we can trust Jonathan. And then Warren tells Andrew, well, the thing that we're doing is going to be soon, so we don't have to deal with Jonathan for that much longer. But just know that thing that we've been planning is going to happen in some reasonable amount of time. Just leaving us all. The suspense is killing me.
They're just going to kill Jonathan after they get the money. That's all.
Yeah.
They do like a milk analogy thing. Tries to be like, when does that milk expire? And it's long banter. Andrew's a little slow on the uptick.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, also, little preview for the fashion report. Andrew is in the worst outfits all episode, dude.
Well,
They're doing this guy so dirty.
He's the Willow now. He's Willow season 2, you know?
True. Fair enough. So after this scene, we go to Xander returning home, and Anya is there. And Xander's like, Anya, oh my God, you're here. Oh my God. And Anya's like, yeah, oh yeah. She's like really she's backing away from Xander, and Xander's trying to like touch her and like hug her and explain himself. And he's telling her, hey, I feel terrible about what I did. I am so sorry. I want to make up for it. I know what I did was wrong. I wanted to take away the hurt. I love you so much. And I just want to make amends, like the episode that nobody likes. And and Anya's like, I don't understand what happened. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to make up for it? And Xander's kind of like, I haven't really gotten to that part because I practiced this speech in the mirror a bunch. But I don't know. This isn't part of the speech that I practiced. And Anya's like, well, what happened? And Xander's like, I'm an idiot. I could have said something earlier. I should have probably said something earlier, but I wanted to spare you from all of that. And I wanted to just go through with it. But I want to be able to like take this hurt away from you and take away the nightmare, but I want to work it out. And Anya is like, oh, you should have said something earlier. What would you have said? And Xander's like, I don't know. I don't even know what I would have said. And Anya's like, do you still want to get married? And Xander has a little freeze moment. And then he goes, Anya, it's complicated. And he says, someday, yes, I'd love to get married when we're ready. And I love you so much. And I'm trying to be honest with you that I'm just not ready to get married right now. And then Anya goes, oh, you're going to be honest now? And Xander's like, look, I want us to be together. I want to work it out. I wish that we could go back to the way things were before. And Anya's turned around at this point. I wrote in all caps, he wishes.
No, Xander, no.
Anya is turned around when he says, I wish we could go back to the way things were before. And when he says wish, it triggers her demon face. Anya has accepted D'Hoffren's offer of becoming a vengeance demon again. Mm-hmm. So when Xander's like, I wish we could go back to the way things were before, Anya says, well, I wish that you were never born.
Lightning, thunderclap.
Except that does not happen.
No, it doesn't.
She goes back to regular face.
It goes to commercial break. It's a great commercial break moment.
Yeah.
And before we get to what happens here, I was wondering if our listeners who have watched this show before do they consciously not say "I wish" in conversations based off of this? Because honestly, like, this is something happens later that I was really proud of a character for doing. But
something happens later that they were really proud of, and then that person, I'll get to it.
Okay, yeah. But yes, I was just like, man, you would just have to go around just not saying "I wish," because it's crazy how often they can trick people into saying "I wish" in conversations. I was like, does that happen a lot in arguments?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is the conversation that you were wishing Xander would have had with Anya in the vestibule little entryway of the lodge.
And this is why the show is good. And this is why we trust the writers of the show and the creators, because they do bring it up. They didn't have it there because they wanted to do what they did, but they had it here so they could do what they wanted to do here. So it's fine.
And this is a good conversation. Like, I applaud Xander here for being honest. Obviously this could have happened at the church, and it would have avoided a whole bunch of mess.
Or it could have happened start of next episode if he didn't run away.
Yeah. But at least he's doing it now.
At least it's
better late than never.
At least it's happening. It's not a Riley on a helicopter.
Truth. It's confirmed that he does not want to break up with her. It's confirmed that he still loves her. Mm-hmm. Didn't want to break up with her. He does want to work through it. Does want to make it up to her. Does want to, like, work on it. But it's too late.
Doesn't want to marry her yet.
Not yet.
It's interesting that she's so hell-bent on getting married, too, though.
That's chicks, dude. You know chicks.
I mean, she was a 1,000-year-old demon, you know, just takes, you know.
Yeah.
What's a couple more years?
Well, she's mortal now, she was mortal, and she was worried about dying in 50, 60 years or whatever, she said. I
know people that are in relationships long-term aren't married. And they just do that.
I never plan on getting married, and I'm fine with that. And I wish, dude,
Joe's gonna get married next month.
I've watched too many things about divorce and how marriage is. I'm so paranoid about it. I would never do it.
Yeah, I think people do this thing where they think marriage completely changes stuff, but like it doesn't have to.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could,
but it doesn't have to. Like,
yeah,
you're living with someone, you're spending all your time with them, and then you sign a piece of paper, and you're like, change.
Yeah. Tax breaks.
Yeah.
So anyway, Anya wishes Xander was never born. Commercial. Come back from commercial. Anya turns back around and she's facing Xander now, and she doesn't have a demon face, but she says, "I wish you felt the pain of 1,000 searing hot pokers." And Xander's like, "Yeah, I know. You totally are well within your rights to say that." And she says, "Nothing's happening to Xander." And Anya's like, "What the fuck's going on? I wish that you had tentacle eyes." And Xander's like, "Yeah, okay, that one's a little weird, but yeah, it's sure." And she goes, "I wish that your intestines were tied up in your stomach and they fell apart and exploded out of your stomach." And Xander's like, "They are. They feel terrible. I feel bad." And Anya's like, "No, but not like that. Not figuratively. Fuck. Ow. You're not feeling any physical pain." And Xander's like, "What? I'm just trying to make this work." And she's like, "No, this is fucking bullshit." And she storms out.
She should storm out because Xander's dumb.
Yeah.
How many times does she have to say wish for him to get what's going on? Everybody else knows. He's just like, "Yep, my former vengeance demon girlfriend just keeps saying wish a lot."
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So after Anya storms out.
Xander also pulls a Buffy here because he doesn't chase after her.
Mm-hmm. For a guy trying to work it out, he's just like, "I'm going to let her go."
Yep.
So next scene is Halfrek and Anya catching up over coffee, and Halfrek is bragging to Anya about this guy that she cursed, and who wouldn't pay child support. So every time he wrote a check that wasn't for child support, he got paper cuts, and he's got paper cuts all over his hand. I was like, that's actually a pretty fucking very tedious and awful spell to cast on this guy.
I don't think they have to literally manage the magic.
Yeah. But Anya starts talking to Halfrak, and she's annoyed that none of her wishes worked against Xander. And Halfrak is like, bitch, don't you know? You gotta get somebody else to do that wish. And I was like, how did Anya not realize this?
It's been like 3 years she hasn't been a vengeance demon. So
Yeah.
she forgot everything. Here was my question. Does she not have to honor Xander's wish? Like, is it not genie
Right?
rules with the twist when he says, I
Well,
wish we could go back to how we were before?
That's what I thought. When he said, I wish we could go back to the way things were before, I was like, we're going to get a little time travel.
Yeah, and then she was like, oh, I wish you were never born. I was like, oh, we're having one of these episodes, right?
Yeah.
And so she doesn't have to do that. It's a little loose.
Dude,
It's a
it
little
gets very
loosey-goosey.
muddied.
Because I didn't
Well,
like
they start.
what Helfrich did with Dawn. When Dawn's
Well, they
like, I don't
start-
want people to leave. And she's like, that means lock them in a house forever.
Yeah. Well, they get really over-explaining with the
Mhm.
rules of the wishes. And it's
Yeah.
like, where was this? It seems like some of the wishes are up to the demon's interpretation, like with Halfrek and
Yeah.
Dawn. But then other times it's like, Halfrek later on, she says that Anya only makes women's wishes come true.
Well, she talked
And I was
about
like,
that
when
before.
was that?
Yeah, they had that
I
whole
guess.
conversation. They had that whole thing when she's like, oh, you got daddy issues. And that's why you do that's why Helfrich does the kid stuff. And
Yeah.
and Anya was always a vengeance demon for scorned women.
But I thought that you could just make anyone's wishes come true.
You
I
can.
guess you have to.
You can but these vengeance demons choose their own little thing that
They
they're
don't have their own
champion.
niche.
They don't have to, but they do. Like they mention it. That's what Anya's thing is.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's been established, Joe. It's been
Yeah,
established.
but it's established. But like you brought up just now, like when Xander said, "I wish," if somebody says, "I wish" around her, does she get to choose that she doesn't?
that's
have to honor?
that is different than her having a thing about like doing vengeance for women that were scorned. Because every story that she tells is about like, oh, some girl broke up with this or this troll thing. Like even the troll thing was like, oh, he cheated on me or that stuff. All of Helfrich stuff, she's like, oh, there's a kid that's not getting money. But
So hold on a second. So she became a vengeance demon when Olaf cheated on her,
Yeah.
and she sent him. Who wished for Olaf to go to the other dimension?
oh, I don't know. That's all
Because
nonsense.
that would have been an Anya wish.
well, or she would have met a vengeance demon, then and did that to a vengeance demon, and then got recruited, kind of like how Willow got recruited.
Okay, all right.
So I mean,
Right.
it's their stuff. They know. Like I said before, the writers know what they're doing.
All right.
I just thought she wanted him to disappear, and he said, "I wish things went back to how they were before." You can definitely twist that to being like, "Oh, you want it like before? You don't exist before."
Yeah,
That
you don't exist.
That tangibly can work. That's why I
Yes.
was weirded out by it. It was like, oh, nothing.
Yeah. The way things were before. Oh, I was also a vengeance demon and you were about to die in the Wish universe.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Halfrek tells Anya, you got to get somebody to make the wish for you. And Anya's like, oh, okay. I see what you're getting at. And we finally get the episode that we've been waiting for forever.
Yeah, we did mention this, didn't we? Yeah,
We did, like, a bunch.
Yeah.
But before we do this, we have Buffy making an enormous ton of pancakes and waffles for Dawn. And Dawn comes downstairs and she's surprised how much food there is. And Buffy's like, Dawn, you know what? Maybe this weekend we could just hang out and stay in and eat pizza and watch a movie. And Dawn's like, look, dude, you don't have to do all this stuff because you tied me up in a basement and you sicked a demon on me. I've forgiven you for that. It's fine.
But how dare you? How dare you sleep with her?
Oh, you had a vision where I wasn't. Do you even want me around?
This the back and forth with Dawn like being cool with Buffy and not being cool with Buffy between episodes now. It's just next episode, she'll be pissed at Buffy for some minor grievance.
Yeah.
Teenage girls, right?
But Buffy wants to reassure Dawn, hey, this isn't about forgiveness. It's me. I just want to spend time with you. I want to spend time with my sister. And then Buffy goes, oh, wait a second. Oh my God, when did I become the mom that's cramping my daughter's style? Oh my God, I'm cramping your teenage style, aren't I? Oh my God. And Dawn's like, no. You're not cramping my style. You'll
never be Joyce.
And then so Dawn's like, all right, we can hang out, but how about instead of you hanging out with me, how about I hang out with you? And Buffy's like, what are you getting at? And Dawn's like, how about I come on patrol with you tonight? And Buffy's like, no, absolutely not. No fucking way. And Dawn's like, I mean, when you were my age, you were out doing patrol with Xander and Willow. Like, what's the difference? Like, it's bullshit. Like, you were out doing that. I want to go out. And Buffy's like, well, technically you are 1.5 years old, so no. And
the show knows
nice.
it. The show does
Very
it.
Very nice.
I was like, finally we get what I thought this whole season would be, which is her learning how to fight vampires. And she does bring up, I'm always in danger anyway.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah.
The best point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buffy was like, I don't want you to be around all those dangerous things if I can help it. And Dawn's like, those dangerous things find me, dude. Like, I'm always in danger. Why don't I just like go out? And Buffy's like, no.
I used to be a key and now I'm a demon magnet. Okay.
Yeah. So then we go over to the espresso pump where Willow and Tara are getting their coffee and they're chit-chatting, and Willow's filling in Tara about all the stories since Tara's been gone. And she talks to her about the Double Meat Palace old lady with the wig with the big
phallic
dick
symbol.
demon.
The phallic symbol, neck, head, face. Yeah.
And Willow says, man, if I wasn't gay before, the sight of that thing definitely confirmed it. And I was like, you used to fuck Oz.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't I've never hooked up with a guy before and don't like guys at all.
Yeah. You were not Gold Star. You were into Xander. You're into Oz.
Yeah. You were into that robot that you got catfished by. You thought Giles was hot recently?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. I get it for the joke, though.
I get it for the joke, but it's a bad, lame joke.
Yeah.
But then she tells her about the invisible ray gun story and then the demon eggs. And Tara's like, Jesus Christ, I've only been gone for like a month. Holy fuck, I missed a lot.
It's like, did I miss a lot? Because I walked home and Buffy tried to kill me. So I walked in your house, Buffy tried to kill me. Maybe I should stay away from you. Maybe I should stay away from you.
If I was Tara, I'd be like, are you sure that I wasn't there for any of this? Are you sure you didn't mind wipe me again? Maybe I was there for all this.
This sounds like the delusion of someone that's tripping on magic.
Yeah. But as they're talking about this, Anya shows up and they're happy to see her. They're like, Anya, oh my God, you're back. Oh my God, I'm so sad. Sorry to see what happened. But if there's anything that we can do to help, like, let us know. Like, we feel so bad for you. And Anya's like, sure, you want to help me? Sure. I've got a little bit of a favor that you could do for me. And then it cuts away. And Anya's talking to Dawn. And she's asking Dawn to help her. And Dawn's like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Then we go back to Will and Tara, and they're like, I don't think that we really want to be doing that whole revenge type of thing. And then Anya goes to Buffy to ask her to help. And then we go to Dawn again at the magic box. And Dawn is saying that she will never use the word wish again because there's too many vengeance demons trolling around Sunnydale. And she doesn't want to end up with another spell like what Halfrek ended up with. And I was like, okay, that is very smart. Until later in the episode, where Dawn literally says, I wish something.
Did she? For like not in.
I wrote it down in all caps.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't realize people say as much as they probably say.
Yeah.
Which it makes it interesting for Vengeance Demons. They're like, it's so easy to trick people into it. Which makes this montage even better, is that she's so rusty that she can't get anyone to say it.
Yeah, I mean, she's talking to Willow and Tara too. She's like, you guys are lesbians. You hate men, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you wish some revenge on Xander? And they're like, well, we don't really hate men. It's just more, we love fucking snatch, dude.
They have a line that like, we're not that kind of lesbians or something. It's, yeah.
They say we're not so much man haters. It's more that we enjoy the girl on girl action.
Yes, that's the line.
And Anya's like, you know who likes girl on girl action is Xander. Don't you hate that they would like girl on girl action? And Tara's like, I mean, that seems kind of normal, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then Anya gets very frustrated. She's at Buffy's house and she's talking to Buffy like, dude, don't you wish that you could fucking just get some revenge on Xander? And Buffy's like, no, I think that he's hurting enough. Like he feels terrible about what he did and he's hurting enough. And then Xander shows up and he's like, Anya. And Anya sees him and she walks up to him and she goes, congratulations. They all still love you, even after what you did to me. And then she storms off and Xander goes to chase after her and he's like, Anya, wait, hold on. Let's talk about this. I want to make it up to you. And Buffy grabs him. Buffy's like, whoa. You're going to chase after her? You know we don't fucking do that in the show.
We do not chase after people. We do not.
What are you thinking?
Rule number 2 is a Slayer. Do not chase after her.
If you chased after her, some of your problems would probably be solved. What are you fucking doing?
And Xander's in these big coats, man. The coats are so bulky. Yeah, I'm going to leave it for you and your fashion corner, but they're so big.
I don't think I had talk about it in this one, but all of his coats are bulky as fuck.
It's like he's in Fargo or something.
Like that leather jacket that he wore last episode, that orange one, like it's so big.
Yeah.
And he's, like I said it in like the last fashion report. I'm like, he's a broad guy, but these jackets somehow are even broader and they just make him look fucking insane. It's like
he looks like a house walking down the street.
It's like they have shoulder pads in them. It's like he doesn't need that. But Buffy convinces Xander like, hey, you should just let her cool off, dude. Like she is fucking enraged right now. She's hurt. You gotta let her calm down. And Xander's like, ugh. And then there's a weird cut to a gnome.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah. And I was like, was that a mistake? Is this a remaster issue?
Yeah.
And it cuts back to them talking. And Xander's like, I'm just so goddamn frustrated. I want to apologize. And she won't listen to me. And I just want to make it up to her. And I feel such an idiot. And then he cuts back to the gnome. And he just kicks the gnome. And it breaks apart. And Buffy's like, when the fuck did that get there? What's that gnome? I never bought a gnome. Did Willow put that there? Is this some kind of magic spell or some shit? And then they look inside.
Even before that, Buffy says, I mean, she has a whole monologue about this gnome. And at one point she says, if I knew that he would put that gnome here, I would have came back from heaven even sooner. Like, it was like so much. There was so much packed into that. And that edit to the gnome, I know why they did it, because they wanted, if he just kicks the gnome, it might seem a little awkward, but I think they could have just held that shot. I think they just shot it weird, and they never had the establishing shot that they wanted. So they were like, in the edit, they were like, we have to like at least cut to it, and there was no place to put it. But it needs to be at the beginning of the scene or somewhere else. But it's like, hey, there's this thing here. We're going to hit it later.
It was the most awkward cut. Like, if they would have just had like a one-shot wide following Xander chasing Anya, just have the gnome in the background, Buffy grabs him, maybe a couple cuts, but then go back to the wide, Xander kicks the gnome in the wide.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, it's got to be... I mean, that shot was just so...
It had to have been a timing issue.
Yeah. And I wonder how long ahead did they know that they were going to do this? Because you could have, like, behind the tree stuff with Spike, and you see the gnome. Like, I don't know if we've ever seen this gnome in any other shots.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure Discord will enlighten us if it has been in any other shots.
What's the gnome? What's that travel commercial with the gnome?
Oh, fuck.
That's the first thing I was thinking of. Now I gotta look it up because it's in my brain now. Travel gnome.
Is it Travelocity?
Maybe Travelocity. I guess I'm gonna say Travelocity.
Right.
Free plug for Travelocity.
Yeah, there you go.
They have a gnome. Yeah.
Is it Travelocity?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But so Xander kicks the gnome, it breaks, and they start to investigate the gnome to pick it up and be like, oh, when did that get there? And then they see that there is a camera inside. And they're like, oh my God, somebody's spying on us. Who the fuck put this there? And Xander goes, who the fuck else, dude? The guy that is always lurking in your bushes, peering inside your windows from the lawn. What do you think this is? It's definitely fucking Spike.
Ruining our neighborhoods, stealing out women.
Get off my lawn, vampire!
Xander.
Stick with your own. Go get that Drusilla.
Now get.
So then the next scene, Buffy brings the camera over to Spike. And Spike's looking at it. He's like, what the fuck is this?
Dude, honestly, I think Buffy and Xander are made for each other because they're so dumb. She was like, Riley, it's no way Spike could do this. He's an idiot. He's not smart. Oh, I found some tech in a gnome. This is definitely the guy that lives in a crib with the 1980s TV. He's definitely spying on me with a camera.
Yeah. Spike's looking at it, he's like, I don't know what the fuck this is. And Buffy's like, it's a camera, idiot. Don't act like I don't know what you're up to. And Spike's like, you think I'm spying on you? No, I do it the all-natural way. I climb in a tree and I look through your window with binoculars.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, no, well, all right, if it's not you, then I don't know who the fuck it could be. And I was like, how do you not? But Spike says something like, oh, I wouldn't do this. I would never hurt you.
And I was like, would you? Would you?
Didn't you just sick a vampire on her earlier in this episode?
Didn't you hit her a bunch recently?
Yeah, to prove that she came back wrong.
He's like, I never hurt you. And he kicks her down the steps.
Yeah, never hurt you. Throws her across the alley and next to a police station.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so he's like, oh, I would never hurt you. And Buffy's like, Spike. And he's like, I wouldn't. You know, I wouldn't do it because I love you. I love you so much, and I could never hurt the person I love. And Buffy's like, very nice of you, Spike, but it's not going to happen. Okay? It's time for you to stop. I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry that, this isn't going to work out, but you got to move on. And Spike goes, get out.
I was like, yeah, that's get out of this relationship, Buffy. Like, there's no, he turns so mean anytime she pushes back at all.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the classic abusive relationship tactic of like, oh, you hit somebody and then you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then like next thing you know, he's yelling at you again. It's like, this is just bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Buffy leaves. She knows that Spike is hurting. So she's like, all right. Then we go over to Anya talking to Halfrek about how no one wants to curse Xander. Everybody loves Xander. We're in the magic box now. And she's like, I tried to get all of his friends to curse him, but lo and behold, the people that are his best friends don't want to wish ill will upon him.
Oh, now Anya's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, but that's
classic Anya. Yeah.
Yeah. And Halfrek is like, well, you got to find somebody that doesn't like Xander to get him to curse him. And then who should show up?
Where am I going to find someone like that?
Ring-a-ding-ding-ding. A tring-a-ding-ding-ding.
Wait, this store's still open? Yeah.
Yeah. So Spike shows up and he's like, "Hey, I need some help." And Anya's like, "Oh, I think I've got just what you need." And Halfrek's like, "I'll leave you two to conduct your business." So Halfrek leaves.
Question.
Anya's like, "What's up?"
So it has been brought to our attention on Discord and from our listeners that the actress playing Halfrek is Cecily, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question is Halfrek actually Cecily, or is that moment where they look at each other in that episode and they're like, "Hey, don't I know you?" And they have that awkward moment. Is that awkward moment a wink
for the audience?
Is that a wink for the audience to be like, "Hey, we just recast this actress that was in a previous episode. If you get it, you'll get it."
Mm-hmm.
Or is she actually supposed to be Cecily?
Yeah, because if she's actually supposed to be Cecily, like they did recognize each other.
Yes.
Spike could have been like, "What are you doing here? Like, what's up with you?" I
wanted something here. Like, she doesn't react to seeing Spike, and he doesn't react to seeing her in any way here.
Well, he's one track mind, got his blinders on.
He's got his blinders on, but if you walk and see the lady that you saw but the last time you were a human that you were in love with, they recognize each other. Yeah, they recognized each other before, so that's
the one who gave him, or at least informed us that his name is William the Bloody because of his bloody awful poetry.
Yeah. If anything, he would be pissed at her because of that, and he holds a grudge, as we know.
So how come Spike still has a British accent, but she doesn't?
Well, I don't know if that's the thing. I don't know if she's actually supposed to be Cecily or not.
How come Angel doesn't have an Irish accent and Spike still does? Why'd they do this to Spike? Why'd they do this to James Marsters?
I don't know. He does. You know what? His accent, I don't even really pay attention to it that much anymore. Yeah.
But Spike, he wants to have a numbing spell. He wants to take away the hurt. I got this pain in my loins and in my heart. I want to take away the hurt. And Anya's like, "All right, yeah, I got something for you." And Halfrek also, this is when Halfrek pulls Anya aside about like, Spike doesn't like Xander. And Halfrek is like, "I mainly do women's wishes." And Halfrek's like, "You can totally do male wishes. This is an opportune time to explore that territory. Maybe you can grant Spike's wish if he hates Xander enough." She's like, "All right, I'll try it." So Spike is like, "Oh yeah, I need this numbing spell." Anya's like, "I got just the thing. It makes you way calmer. It takes away the hurt, makes you forget." And Spike's like, "That's exactly what I need." And then she pulls out a bottle of Will Williams whiskey.
With the Evan Williams labeling styling. Yeah.
Yep.
I like that she said that Giles left this behind.
Yeah. I thought that this was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Behind the delivery trucks that keep your life stocked, thousands of employees at BP go to work every day. People bringing a new offshore production platform online. People making our refineries capable of more, like making renewable diesel from agricultural waste. People trading and shipping fuels to our customers. And people helping truckers fill up and get maintenance at our convenient locations. They're part of the more than 300,000 jobs BP supports across the country. Learn more at bp.com/investing in America.
So we got Xander, Willow, and Buffy back at the Summers house, and they're investigating what the camera, like where it came from and who's spying on Buffy. Willow's using her hacking abilities, and they're like, "You think you can do it?" And Willow's like, "It's been a couple seasons, but don't you remember? I'm an expert computer hacker."
Yes, and well, she hacked into espresso pump earlier this season.
That's true.
And she's like, Buffy's been working a little overtime at the Double Meat Palace to upgrade us to DSL. So we have.
She also has like jumper cables attached to the
yeah, just some random cables attached to her laptop that somehow, like the camera. Yeah, those cameras just wouldn't go. I don't know. Yeah. The technology was different, but whatever.
Yeah. So they're like, well, Xander's like, well, I still think it was Spike that did this. And Buffy's like, no, I went over to Spike's and he knew nothing about it. I don't think Spike would do this. And then Xander's like, all right, well, if it's not Spike, I think we all know who it is. The trio. And then they're all like, oh, yeah, I forgot about the big bad of this season.
I forgot about the tech nerds.
The guy that can build robots.
Yeah, the guy that can build robots maybe understands how cameras work. Yeah.
So as soon as they say this, I was Willow, slam the laptop. Case closed. You know.
Well, they don't know where
it's the trio.
They're trying to find out where they are.
Oh, yeah, because last episode, Buffy, she was outside. She never established it. That's where the trio lived. Okay, fair enough. So Willow's going to continue hacking and try and find out where the hub of this camera is.
I do think my favorite part of the scene is once they say, oh, it has to be the trio, Buffy gets real serious. You're like, I want to find these guys that I haven't even been thinking about.
Yeah. So then we go over to the trio, and Jonathan's doing a spell while Warren and Andrew watch. He's got that little disc thing, and he's like, Hamana, Shamala, Damala, Daganaga. And it shoots a laser at it looks like they have a treasure map of Sunnydale?
This is, I want to say this is like from an Indiana Jones, but no,
it totally is.
Yeah,
it's the whole thing of like,
you had the
Raiders
light
of the
in
Lost Ark.
Yeah, so, and I've seen other parodies and spoofs of that. That's why I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Indiana Jones, but I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Dude, those movies were so good.
Did you see the new one?
First three. Fuck no.
Did you see Crystal Skull?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, I did see Crystal Skull. I did not see the Dial of Destiny.
I've heard it is very, very bad.
Same.
I heard that the first 20 minutes is really good.
I've heard mixed reviews of that because of the whole like de-aging.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing about Crystal Skull. Like when they had Shia LaBeouf like swinging through the trees with monkeys.
That was the worst.
That CGI was so awful. Just the way that it was filmed, like I hated the glossiness of it. Like I hated how.
You know what's crazy? In Crystal Skull, there's a guy that gets eaten by ants, and I think that looked worse than the Mummy. Yeah.
This one comedian that I know, great comedian, everybody should check him out. His name is Jono Zalay. He had a joke.
You're gonna have to spell that because no one's.
JONOZALAY. He had a joke about how people hated Kingdom of Crystal Skull, and they were like, "This is bad. It's not realistic. This is an Indiana Jones." And you can hate it until you realize that that's the only one that's even remotely possible. It's like, aliens that exist potentially in outer space? Bullshit. Bible, Ark of Covenant that melts people's faces and skulls and has their eyeballs? Yeah, that's the real shit.
Really, the Temple of Doom is the one. That's the one that has the
Temple
craziest.
of Doom. I love Temple of Doom, but people do not like Temple of Doom.
That was the one I watched the most. And
dude, when he rips that guy's heart out, that's so sick.
That movie doesn't take a break, though. Watching that again, most movies, you have an action scene, you have a little letdown so you can catch your breath and get back up. Once they get in there, it's just nonstop, man. It is just nonstop. Not
the lady in that movie is really annoying.
I think that's Spielberg's wife.
Yeah.
Just to finish the Indiana Jones tangent. What was I going to say, actually? It was something about Temple of Doom.
Short round.
Oh, just, no, Not the best depiction of Indian people from India in that one.
Yeah. It was the 90s. Nobody knew.
I watched that in college with a girl I was dating that was from India, and watching that with someone from the place, it's just like, oh yeah. Like as a kid, you're watching it, and you're like, all right, whatever. But you watch it from a different perspective. You're like, oh yeah, they're just making up that language, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Just winging it. Good times.
I haven't seen the third one in a long time, but
I've heard
people
good things.
love that one.
Yeah.
I remember enjoying it, the one with Sean Connery. Okay, so he points it at a treasure map, lights the treasure map on fire, and Andrew and Warren are like, oh, fuck, and they try to stomp it out. And they're like, oh, no, wait, no, that's my blanket, or something. And I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So then we go back to the magic box, and Spike and Anya are drinking together. And Anya's trying to get her wish mojo on. She's like, don't you wish, Xander? And Spike's like, shh, I don't want to talk about that fucking guy anymore. And Anya's like, fuck.
I did love knowing that the camera was there and that they were drinking, and drinking is TV code word for like something's about to happen. And I was like, ooh, now this is building some tension.
Yep. And they're getting wasted. Well, we all know that alcohol is an aphrodisiac.
Oh, yeah.
Gets people fucking horny as hell.
That's why Joe doesn't drink it.
Yeah, I know. I'd be too powerful. Hide your wives. But yeah, she's really trying. She's working Spike to be like, don't you wish that he would pay? And Spike is like very closely dancing around. He's like, yeah, that would be nice if he paid. And Anya's like, but don't you wish that? What would you want to happen? Like, what would you wish would happen to him? And he's like, well, I mean, he did you wrong, so I guess whatever you would want. And Anya's like, just say fucking wish, dude.
I hate this magic power that I have, that I'm a genie.
I just love, like, he's dancing around. He's so close to saying it.
You have to do an episode like this, like we were talking about. You have to, because it's such a funny thing to see someone trying to get someone to say something.
Yeah. So then, we go back to the trio stomping out the fire, and Willow hacking into the camera. And she's like, I think I know where it's coming from. I've got this target on my good old crosshairs, trying to triangulate the coordinates.
I was like, oh my God. Because the way this is framed, she's at the head of the dining room table and she's looking at the screen, but Buffy and Xander are not seeing what's on the screen. I was like, are they not going to see? Are they not going to see it? That was my tension.
So then we go back to the magic box, and Anya's commiserating with Spike, and Spike is like, he's commiserating with her about how Buffy isn't into him anymore, and Anya's commiserating with Spike about Xander, but Spike doesn't say Buffy's name out loud. He's just like, this girl, she did a number on me and all this stuff. And Anya's like, I didn't want to be human. I didn't ask to be human. All I wanted to do was use Xander and lose him. But then, he started being really nice to me, and he was really sweet, and he was bumpy in all the right places. And Spike's like, yeah, I could tell you, I relate to that. The girl that I was with, she's a total asshole. But then, I started to get close to her, and now I'm getting all sentimental, and they're getting all sentimental. Willow still hacking. She finds other cameras connected to the network. She's like, oh my God, there's a bunch of cameras. Then we go back to Spike and Anya, and they're commiserating. They're still drinking. They don't even like the Scoobies. What the fuck? Why am I even going out with Xander? I hate them. And Spike's like, yeah, I don't like them either. They're all fucking assholes. And no one will say what's on their mind. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a fair critique.
He compliments her for being straightforward and forthright, which is nice.
Yep.
Previously they talked about their sexy dance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spike says he would never bite Anya because he likes her the best out of all the Scoobies. And
here's the thing I just thought of. He probably could now.
Yeah, he could.
She's a demon
He could
now.
beat her.
Is she?
Yeah.
Wait, so she's not a... Wait, is she not a person anymore?
No, she's a demon, dude.
Okay, so we did have this issue in Angel at one point about like, we were like, oh, it's weird that you can just become a demon, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people just become demons all the time in Buffy. Like, to become a vengeance demon is just that. So this means that she's not going to age anymore, right? Like, she's done.
Yeah, I was going to say, even if Xander was like, I do want to get married, let's go get married right now, she would outlive him because now she's immortal again.
Yeah, would she have to now renounce her vengeance demonness as... You know what?
Someone would have to break her amulet again.
You know
maybe?
What's interesting is that she could now be like, hey, Xander, I can wait.
Oh, yeah.
Like, 'cause
Yeah, I'm not
going anywhere.
I'm not getting any older.
Yeah, if you're ready to get married in your 40s, I'll just snap back and make myself 30. And yeah.
Well, the other thing is, like, so remember when Dawn wished that no one would leave again? And the way that they figured it out is Anya was like, did she have an amulet? Was she wearing a necklace or whatever? Where's Anya's amulet?
It seems like she has something around her neck tucked into her shirt, but I think that's not the amulet. I just think that's a necklace.
Because that's also what turned her human again, is when Giles broke her amulet.
Yeah. I don't think she has
Do they have to always have it on them?
That seems like one of those, like, where's your power source? Oh, this is your power source. Let me break it kind of moments.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Did Helfrich have the amulet on this episode?
I don't know. I haven't really been keeping track.
I
of
was just
amulets.
focused on her face and eyes. You know, my eyes up here. You know, so I wasn't seeing where.
Yeah. I mean, also, if like they knew that Helfrich had an amulet, why didn't they just break her amulet again after she fucked with them?
Well, they all couldn't really touch her. I mean, I forget how Giles got a hold of it. I don't remember how Giles got a hold of it in the Wishverse episode.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, I like that Helfrich's still around, though. Yeah. It's nice that Anya has someone to talk to, even though she's another demon. Buffy confides in Spike, who tried to kill all of them at one point, so why not?
Yeah. But anyway, so Spike is like, I respect you, Anya, because you're forthright and you speak your mind, and that's something I value. And Anya is like, oh, yeah? Well, Xander just thought I was rude, and he was always telling me I was rude, and he didn't like that. And Spike is like, well, they don't understand. They're a bunch of fucking dipshits, you know? They're all fucking getting ready to die. They don't get it. We're the only ones out here truly living. We're the only ones truly alive, even though we're dead. But does Spike know that she's a vengeance demon at this point?
I don't think he does. I think he's just referencing her used to being 1,000 years old, basically, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we go back to Willow, and Willow is like, oh my God, I found cameras all over the place. I found them at the Double Meat Palace. I found them at the college. I found them at Xander's job, and I can find more. And I was like, oh boy.
I was like, yes.
So Spike pours Anya one last shot of Will Williams, and Anya thanks Spike for listening to her blabber on about Xander. And Spike's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I've always really liked you. And she's like, yeah, you know what? I feel like you're the only one that can really understand me right now. And I just can't. She starts to get really emotional. She starts crying, and she's saying that she can't sleep at night because she's thinking it's something that she did, and it was her fault. And wondering what if Xander never wanted her the way that she wants him. And I was like, fuck, dude. Even though I know where this is going, I'm like, this is brutal. This is rough.
Yeah, man. This show, man, it will tug at the heartstrings and do the silliest, weirdest stuff ever too. It's amazing.
I'm getting emotional where a vengeance demon is getting drunk with a vampire that has a chip in its head. And I'm watching this, I'm like, man, I feel really bad for the vengeance demon.
Don't play mind games last episode and try to make Sunnydale not real. I don't even need that.
I know.
You got me hooked.
I already know it's not real.
Yeah. Let me enjoy my escapism without having a whataboutism.
Yeah. So then Spike, he tells Anya, he's like, well, that's just because Xander's a fucking idiot. He must be deaf, dumb, and blind to not fall in love with a woman like you because you're something special.
Did you wish deaf, dumb, and blind? Did you say wish first?
And then Spike is like, yeah, that's the thing is fucking, they're weak. These people, they're weak. They don't get it. That's why they don't want us. That's why we don't want them. And then they get all close and they start getting the heavy breathings and the fluttery eyes. And Spike is like, they mentioned the sexy dance earlier. And Anya is like, will you show me your sexy dance? And then Spike tries to kiss Anya. And Anya stops. She's like, wait. What are we doing? Is this just the Will Williams? And then she's like, fuck it. Who gives a shit?
No, she says, what is this? And then he says,
yeah,
it's us moving on. And then they kiss, which is
because
really.
Buffy told him to move on.
Yeah, no, which is really. And it's them moving past their relationships that they were stuck in. So I was like, all right. I did like they're going to kiss, they pull back, and then they have another like cathartic emotional moment that like really pushes them together. And I was like, well done. Done.
Great. This build up was great. These scenes with Xander or Spike and Anya, they're great.
Yes. And the two of them are great together. I wrote in my note, James Marsters has chemistry with everyone.
He's like the anti-Riley.
Yeah.
He's just so good.
Chemistry with Giles. Anti-chemistry with Xander. Buffy. Scenes with him and Willow were great when we used to get those. Like, it's just.
Remember when they were about to hook up or whatever?
Were they?
Well, he was trying to bite her, and he
could. That's when he first got the chip.
Yeah, he had vampiric performance issues or whatever she said.
Those were great.
Oh man!
And yeah, I wish that we got more scenes with Spike and Anya, and we do.
Yeah. So after they start making out, like hardcore making out,
makeouts like, in this show are even towards the end. I mean, the makeouts in these shows are intense for network television.
Violent skull mashing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody lost a tooth doing these scenes, dude. Like, they're going for it. And I appreciate that about the show. Yeah. Willow's hacking some more. The trio get an alarm. They're like, oh no, somebody's hacked into our feed. We got to figure out where we got to triangulate the coordinates where this network is coming from. Spike lifts Anya up and puts her back down onto the top of the table where they were just drinking, and he takes off her top and he gets on top of her, and then Willow hacks into the camera that is at the magic box, and she goes, whoa.
Yeah.
The trio who are trying to triangulate the coordinates, they also see what's going on in the magic box.
Well, they're trying to shut it down. They're like shutting down all the cameras, and they get to this one, and they like.
Yeah. And Jonathan keeps going, oh my God. Oh my God. And then Warren and Andrew are like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I love that Andrew goes, oh, Spike's so cool. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is hot.
That was hilarious. Yeah. So then we go back to the Summers home, and after Willow is like, whoa, Xander and Buffy are like, what is it, Will? And Willow, in her infinite wisdom, doesn't click out, doesn't close the laptop, doesn't go to another browser. She just lets Buffy and Xander walk up behind her and see what's happening. And she's like, maybe you guys shouldn't. And they're already behind her.
Now, this was my tension watching the scene, because just the way it was blocked, I was like, oh, Willow's gonna see this, but she's not gonna show them.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes.
and I was getting so pissed. I was like, oh my God, she's gonna know. He's not gonna find out. And then it'll be like another episode or two before that actually gets out.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen because of
and-
the way the show works. They always do that shit.
Yeah. And I was so happy it was just all in one go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And Xander and Buffy see Spike and Anya just fucking hooking up, dude. Like they're going at
Well,
it.
I thought it was going to be like they're going to catch them kissing. That's what I
No.
thought the show was going to do. But no, they catch them full on table humping.
Yeah. And Xander is like, what is this? What the fuck is this? And Buffy is just silently pouty faced watching this. And I was like, you have no right.
I mean, she doesn't have the right to be
No.
mad about it. Here's what I'll say. She doesn't have the right to be. Okay, there's two things. She doesn't have to. She's going to have feelings for it. She's going to have you are going to have a physical reaction to seeing the last person you sleeping with, not only someone else, but a friend circle person. You are going to have that. You can break up with someone and then you see them hooking up with your friend and still feel some way. So Buffy will have an emotional reaction to that. Like Xander is definitely going to have that.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's shocking for all. It's shocking
Yes.
just the fact that you're that you're just seeing this happen.
Yeah. So they're watching.
And it's just, yeah. I'll talk about the next part later. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about some stuff later on too. So they're all just kind of mouth agape watching this. Dawn comes home. She's like, hey, what's up, guys? Just got back from school. Oh, what y'all watching? She goes up behind and she sees it too. And they're like, Dawn, maybe you shouldn't see this.
Maybe this is something I shouldn't see.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to close it then. They just
Nope.
left it up too.
Well, I mean, at this point, like, Xander's upset, obviously. Buffy's upset. Willow can tell that everybody's upset. She just kind of like looks over her shoulder like,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
Well, this is what I didn't like, is that it seems like Willow and Dawn noticed that Buffy's upset by seeing this. And I was
Yes.
like, now you guys realize it? You didn't
Well,
realize
it's
it
not
at the
even-
wedding when she
It's
was
not
like,
even this.
he brought a date? Like, she doesn't do anything big that would make you think, oh, she's
Yes.
with. Like, anybody seeing Xander's fiance sleeping with Spike would have some reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But for them to jump from that, whatever Buffy's giving, to being like, oh my God, you.
Well, it's like Willow could tell that she was upset and she felt bad. Dawn's reaction was to roll her eyes like, ugh, this again. Like, I was like, what is your reaction here?
But then the later scene where Dawn like brings up that,
Yeah.
oh, this is what you were hiding. And even when
Yeah.
like Buffy walks away, Willow has a look like, huh,
Yeah.
Buffy and Spike or something. And I'm like, that wasn't a big enough giveaway for people who last episode couldn't tell that she didn't take the antidote and was acting super weird around them. Hey, Buffy, how you feeling? Fine. And they're like, oh, good. I'll make us some dinner.
Just eyes half open.
Yeah. But here she's
I'm
like,
doing great.
here she's looking at the most shocking thing ever. And they're like, oh my God, you're fucking Spike, aren't you? I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What? This is Buffy knowing that a vengeance demon made a wish based off of
Yeah.
a school counselor thing.
So Buffy and Xander leave the room silently. Willow's still hanging out at her laptop, and she's just looking around. Dawn goes to chase after Buffy. Willow eventually, after everyone has left, gets up, and she sees that the back door is open and the front door is open. And she walks into the living room, sees the weapons chest is open. And Willow's like, oh God, uh-oh. And then you just have a scene of Xander walking down the street with an axe. It's like, oh shit.
My note says Xander grabs an axe and is going to not kill Spike. As soon as they cut down to the axe, I was like, that's not you're gonna maim him, but
Yeah. I mean, you could behead him. That would kill him.
true, yeah. It's a badass look.
Yeah.
It's nice that you could just walk down the streets in Sunnydale with an axe too.
You can walk down the streets of LA with an axe.
Yeah, you could.
I don't think anyone would really. Dude, there's so much crazy shit happening in LA.
I mean, it depends on what part of LA you're into.
Yeah.
Like, if this was Hollywood, and if you're walking down Hollywood, it'd be like, oh yeah, that's just a guy with an axe. Don't worry about it. He's here every day.
Let's take a picture with him.
Yeah.
He must be some kind of character for something.
Yeah.
Is that Xander? Are you cosplaying as Xander from Entropy, season 6, episode 13?
Oh wow, you swung it at me. Cool. It almost got me.
Wow, this guy's really committed to the cosplay.
Try and get him to say wish.
So Buffy and Dawn are sitting in their backyard and they start talking, and Dawn figures it all out, but Buffy and Spike were banging.
How? It wasn't enough there. I don't think it was enough in that look for them from what we've seen other times.
Well, what's also weird is when Dawn sees it on the laptop, she rolls her eyes like she's disgusted, but now she's very understanding, like, Spike, huh? And this is where she says, Buffy, I wish you would have told me. I wrote in all caps, Dawn just said wish after swearing that word off.
Oh my gosh. Like, you have to type that into a script. You have to know that you can't have her say wish. Yeah, it's just, and she's like, that's why you don't want me going patrolling. And it's like, no, that's not the reason. But
yeah,
I also just, you didn't get that when you told Buffy at the wedding that Spike bought a skank date and she had a reaction to that. That you couldn't be like, wow, she overreacted to Spike bringing a date. But her looking at Spike banging Anya, that's when you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
And I brought up before that it was not that long ago that she had a crush on both Xander and Spike.
Oh, yeah. She's only 1.5 years old.
She's only 1.5 years old. I love that they can make jokes about that in heaven in one episode.
Yeah.
Like, they move on quickly, except for when they don't.
Yeah. But Buffy's telling Dawn, like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I just didn't feel like I could tell anybody. It was kind of embarrassing, but like he was like the only one that could get me for a little bit, and yada, yada, yada. And then Willow comes rushing out and she's like, Buffy, Xander's gone and he took your axe. And Buffy's like, God damn it.
Now, where did Buffy think Xander was going to go after seeing that? Like, she goes out and she's sitting in the back. Like, I don't think we've ever seen this deep into the backyard.
Yeah, because we've never seen their lawn furniture.
Yeah, it's huge. I guess there was that one when they got brought back from heaven. They were sitting like outside in this like one section.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
But that was like very close to the porch.
Yeah. It seems like Buffy would have immediately been like, "Hey, Xander, chill out. Don't do anything rash." Like, instead, she goes into the back to have this one half scene with Dawn. Yeah. It's like, yeah, Xander is going to go to confront, because also you know where this is happening. This is a live feed. It's not a recording.
Well, I think that Buffy left before Xander left, so she wouldn't have seen him leave.
They both walked away from the computer at the same time. It's no way you think, what do you think? He's sitting there watching the rest of the video, Buffy? Like, you have to stop. Like, also Willow needs to be able to stop something too. Somebody needs to say something.
Xander ain't no cuck. If it was fucking Spike watching this, he would have stayed and watched. Remember when he was
if
like
it was who,
trying to?
If it was who doing who?
If Spike watching anybody. Remember when he was outside of Buffy's window watching her and Riley bang, or trying to?
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not
and
like
he was
could
watching
do
Angel and Drusilla.
Oh well, he was in a wheelchair.
That's true. He couldn't do anything. Or it was Angelus and Drusilla. Sorry,
he was in his misery, pretending to be in a wheelchair, faking his illness.
So Buffy's going to go after Xander, who took her axe. So we go back to the magic box, and Spike and Anya are getting dressed. They're pulling their pants up. She's putting her shirt back on, her little shawl, and they do not seem happy. They seem very full of regret. They're kind of like, oh, did we really just do that? And then Spike starts to walk away, and they turn back at each other, and Spike just gives her a nod like, yeah, we fucking did that. Maybe we shouldn't have done that, but we did it.
I didn't view it that way, but I viewed it as like,
you view it?
I viewed it as them being like, this was what it was, but it's not anything more than that. I think that's what
Fair.
it was. Yeah. I
Fair.
don't think,
You know
I don't,
what?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they know it wasn't like, oh shit, we love each other now, like how movies will have you do like something like this. And they're like, oh, I guess I date Spike now because movie. No, it was like, hey, we know this was an emotionally charged hookup that we were just using each other for stuff. And they have that moment of clarity at the end, but it's not a I hate you, Spike. I can't ever be around you.
No, I don't think it was like a. I think it was like
it's not regretful. I don't think it's a regretful hookup. It's just this is what it is.
I think it can be both. It can be like, this is a one-time thing. Maybe we shouldn't have done that, but like, whatever.
Yeah,
we were wasted off the William Williams.
They were wasted off the emotions. The Will Williams is you would use as an excuse.
Yeah.
You know what's
Will
crazy?
Williams.
Xander doesn't know about her making out with Giles, I don't think.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was when their minds were wiped.
Still, I don't think Xander would bounce back from that too well.
Ooh, Xander with an axe versus Giles with a flaming baseball bat.
Or with a chainsaw, or with an axe.
And Xander's getting whooped.
He is not beating the Ripper. He's not.
So Spike nods to Anya. Anya kind of nods to Spike like, yeah, that happened. Spike goes on his merry little way. He takes a step out of the magic box, and whoom, a fucking axe just comes flying, and it gets stuck in the post, like the door frame, and Xander can't get it out for a little bit. And Spike's like, whoa, what the fuck? And then you see Buffy running in the background, her little fucking little sprint.
Weird looking run.
Yep. And Xander's just beating the shit out of Spike. And Spike is like, this sucks. I can't fight you. And Xander's like, I don't give a fuck if you can't fight me. He starts beating him down.
Well, no, Xander's like, why won't you fight me? And he's
right.
Yeah, he's like, I got the chip. And then he's not even putting up a fight. He's not even trying.
I know.
He's not even defending himself or nothing. Yeah.
Because this is why I said it's regret, because I feel like he thinks that he deserves this.
Okay, Spike doesn't like Xander enough to care that he's fucked Anya. Like, I think it's more about it'd be more about like the Buffy-ness and still hurting from Buffy, but it's not like he doesn't go, oh, you should beat me up because I did this to your girl. He definitely doesn't have that in him.
I don't know, man.
Spike does not have that in him.
But yeah, Xander's like, oh, I forgot about the chip. You can't hurt me. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to fucking beat the shit out of you anyway. Starts wailing on him. Anya comes out, putting her jacket on. Stop, Xander, stop it. Buffy comes and she pushes Xander away. And
he takes out a stake at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't even think he had on him. But I guess they should be carrying those around.
Well, he did raid the weapons chest, so he
took the axe.
The stake from there.
Somehow Willow was just able to just be like, the axe is gone.
So Buffy pushes Xander away from beating up and almost killing Spike. And Xander is now face to face with Anya. And he's like, what the fuck was that? She's like, what was what? He's like, don't try to act like we didn't know. We all saw what was going on camera. And Buffy's mad at Spike. And Buffy goes, that didn't take long, did it?
It's just emotional.
At that point,
I mean, it's fine. I mean,
I was like, dude, you told him to move on. You were all smug with the shit earlier in the episode. Like, you got to move on. I get that it's with Anya, but like...
No, it's just... Yeah, it's...
I feel like Buffy has no right to be upset.
No, she doesn't have rational reasons to be upset with Spike.
I think Xander has rational reasons to be upset with Anya, and for the reasons that he's about to lay out. And Anya's like, where do you get off judging me? You could have married me and all this stuff. And then, she says, where do you get off judging me? And Xander goes, I get off judging you when this is your solution to our problems. And Anya calls him a scared, insecure little boy. And Xander is like, I can't even look at you right now. Like, you make me feel sick.
Well,
and he's like,
I have that whole line. I have that whole line written down.
Well, it's like he wanted to work it out. And like his solution to the problem was like, hey, let's just take some time. Let's work it out. I want to make it up to you. And in his mind, her solution is like, I'm going to go fuck a guy.
Oh, man. I mean, it's scorched earth. I mean, he just saw her have sex with the person he despises the most. It's like there's no coming back from that for him. Unless he does.
What's the line?
Unless he goes, you let that evil, soulless thing touch you. I look at you and I feel sick because you had sex with that.
Mm-hmm. Cut to Buffy.
Yeah, it's all about Buffy. Pouty.
Yeah, because you had sex with that. And then Spike goes, it was good enough for Buffy. And then Xander and Anya look at Buffy like, what?
Dude, Xander's head is just spinning right now.
Yeah. So much so that he goes, I don't want to know this.
Yeah.
I don't want to know any of this. And he just walks away. He's just like, I'm done. I'm tapped out on knowledge right now.
My note was like, Xander drops his steak, walks away to his death. He's just he's got no weapons and he's just walking around at night. He's done. If we never see him again, we'll know. Yeah. I can't believe Spike would drop that bomb right there like that. He is. Yep. That's what I'm saying. Like, he might feel bad, but he didn't feel that bad to not throw that in at all at that moment.
Yeah. Well, I think that it was triggered by Buffy pissed off at Spike.
That one line, you mean? When she came?
The line where she's like, it didn't took you long. It's like, this couldn't have happened if you had stick with me.
It's more triggered by Xander calling him that.
Oh, that
and
thing,
him hating. Xander.
I mean, it's a perfect hurricane of all kinds of lines and actions leading up to this moment.
Well, my thing I wanted to bring up is that they've made Xander hate Spike so aggressively so many times. It's like, you could never sleep with that person. It'd be crazy if you even hung out with him. He's a soul. Everyone else is
anyone who sleeps with Spike is a loser.
Yeah. Like, everyone seems to get along with Spike, except for Xander. Like, they know he's evil, but they all just will go to him if they need help, if they need something. He has just been so aggressively against Spike to a point where I guess it's more his protectiveness over Buffy because of once he found out that she liked him, which has been debate on Discord when that was happening, and he told off Spike and all that stuff, and people were like, oh, he shouldn't do that, he should do that, whatever. He's just this. Once he found out that Spike even harbored feelings for her, he was like, no way. Never.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So Xander walks away. Then Buffy's like, can't believe you can't believe you did everything that I told you to do. Can't believe you told my friends, which I told you to do earlier in this episode. Can't believe you moved on, which I told you to do earlier in this episode. How could you, Spike?
How could you? How could you listen to me and think that I said no presents and you got me no gift? How dare you?
So she goes away. And then Spike and Anya are left there all full of shame and regret. And Spike goes to Anya. Classic bloody Xander. Buggered everything up. You know, I wish. And Anya goes, stop. And then they all
because I don't know the rules. I don't know if I have to grant your wish right away or not. But I did like this moment. I did like the moment that she stops.
I did like it. Yeah. You know, she's been trying to get everybody to say wish, and then he says, I wish. And she's like, stop it.
Yeah.
I think he's heard enough.
So can someone tell me about this camera or whatever, how they see this? Can we, what is going on? Like,
yeah. So they all walk away. I wrote there's a sad montage, but it's not. It's just sad Anya walking back into the magic box with sad music playing.
This is Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Empty Main Street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder what time this is.
I don't know. When Spike walked into the magic shop, it was like, are they still open? It's probably like 8
It's like all of a sudden the Wish universe curfew is enacted.
Yeah.
And they're the only ones like breaking it.
The air horn sounded earlier. We just missed it. Yeah.
So yeah, Anya's all sad. And then we go over to Joyce's room that Willow is staying.
I wrote the same thing. Tara shows up in Joyce's room.
Tara shows up and she's like, hey, look, dude, if we're going to do this, there is a lot of stuff that needs to be done. There is a lot that needs to be worked on. We need to work on it. Trust needs to be rebuilt. It is a very long process, okay? And Willow's like, okay, I'm listening. And Tara goes, but can we just skip that? And I just want to get to the part where you're kissing me. And Willow's like, wee! And she jumps up and they start fucking making out hard.
Yeah. It was like, I was like, oh, wow. She's getting back together with her. And I was like, wait, this is early 2000s. This is a makeout on network TV. This is a hardcore same-sex makeout right here.
Yeah, man. Hot stuff.
Xander's like, comes back and he's like, all right. This
will help me.
All right, this date's getting better. I think.
But that's also where the episode ends.
Yeah. How do you feel about Tara getting back with Willow?
I don't feel good about it.
Nope.
I was appreciating her, like, if we're going to do this, it's going to be a long process. I was like, okay, this is the way, if they're going to do it, that's the way that it needs to be done. And then she's like, but fuck all that. Come here, put it on me, baby. And I was like, wait, no.
Yeah. The other day I got tripped down the stairs because your Slayer friend had lost her mind and got poisoned and then tried to kill all of us. Yeah, I'm ready to jump back into this group.
Dude. Like your note earlier said, run, Tara, run.
Yeah. So scared for this girl.
I know.
But my season prediction comes true. Fully break up and get back together.
Yeah. Got anything else to say about Entropy, Vance? Because that's the episode.
I think the only way to make things better for Xander is for Xander and Buffy to sleep together.
Dude, yeah.
That's the only way. They're going to have to do it. They got to do it to get back to... It's the only way to even things out.
Yeah. A fuck for a fuck. And then you have to watch it on camera.
Oh, the trio. I'm supposed to be hunting those guys down. The rapist murderers.
Thieves. Mega villains that have been fucking with me for all season, right?
Oh, yeah, the people that summoned... Oh, I guess she doesn't even know that demon was summoned by them. Yeah. That poisoned her.
I know she does, because remember when she's in having a mental hospital flashback, she goes, no, this is Jonathan doing this.
Yeah, but then she's in the... Like, I don't think she takes that as them. No, in the mental hospital, she says, I have to stop them. She doesn't say that's them doing it.
She does.
Okay, but I don't think she relates that demon to them, because that's in her mental institute thing. She completely forgot about the trio this episode until the end.
Oh yeah, I thought that Spike was spying on me.
Yes, the guy that lives in the crypt. He's got a elaborate surveillance system happening. Now we have the path for Xander and Buffy to get together. It's been been paved.
The next episode is titled Seeing Red. Who's going on a murderous rampage?
Drusilla's back. That's my prediction.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. Who could be upset? I guess Spike would be upset. I think Spike's going to do something to betray Buffy, because he made a big point this episode to be like, I would never hurt you. And now he's going to do something to really hurt her.
I mean, he's always been hurting her, though.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, true. But I think he's going to intentionally, like, try to hurt Buffy.
I would agree with you, except for I know he's still around next season. And I think if he did anything to hurt her, he would have to die in the finale or something.
I don't think so.
You think we
thought that we were always questioning how Spike, a love interest, like way early on, even when he was a love interest.
Yeah, but then they love interest, but we talked about the plot armor, but I feel like if he did something intentional to hurt Buffy now, he would have no more like standing with the group.
What if Xander tries to kill Anya? Oh.
Is that your prediction?
No.
Okay.
I mean, seeing red, man. I mean, that would be, if that were to happen, then I could be like, oh yeah, okay, now I get why people hate Xander that have watched this whole thing.
I think Xander got forced into being the voice against Spike more than the rest of the Scoobies, which I think is a detriment. I think we need more Willow. Like, we did have Tara at one point. Tara at one point thought if Buffy was sleeping with Spike, she's insane. But then when she found out about it, she was like, I don't care.
Yeah, she's like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, but Xander is still like, Xander would have had the same reaction whether or not Spike had slept with Anya.
What if Xander and Buffy start having a beef now? Xander confronts Buffy. I'm going to predict that Xander confronts Buffy in this one about Spike, because he's like, I don't even want to know. How could you do that?
Yeah,
I'll predict that. Xander confronts Buffy. And with that, everybody, thank you so much for listening to our episode on Entropy. If you want to get a shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review, Spotify 5-star rating, or if you're in Alaska and you're listening to this, hit us up. We'll shout you out. Join our Discord. We got a lot of fun times chatter about this. Not just Buffy, but Angel. Not just Buffy and Angel, but UFOs and shit. There's a book club. There's all kinds of shit going on.
I'm in the book club now.
Oh, wow. Vance is reading.
I haven't even started the book yet.
There's gaming stuff going on in there. We got a whole bunch of good times in the Boys Watching Buffy Discord, so join it. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we do Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, and Joe's Fashion Report /Corner. And follow the Instagram at Boys Watching Buffy, boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. And yeah, I think that's it. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody, and stay tuned next time for when we talk about Seeing Red.
Is that Spike? He is so cool. And, I mean, the girl's hot too.
Dude.
Seltzer Kings
Podcasts.